And good morning, Man Hour Nation. Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour. We got the AFC Divisional Playoff preview coming up. We're going to talk about 3 ways how the Ravens, the Texans, the Bills, and the Chiefs all can win their respective games. And then we got to ask, what happens if they lose those games? What happens? Who knows? Who really cares? I don't know. But in the end, this is live, raw, uncut NFL talk. But first. And now, Mike's thoughts. Man Hour Nation, Man Hour Nation, Man Hour Nation. Your boy, Michael Buckheiser, is officially pissed off. Your boy is officially mad. It snowed here in southern Indiana. Couple inches, whatever, right? They canceled school. They called us at 6 a.m. on the old cellular devices, woke me up and said, hey, we don't have school today. And not only an hour goes by, our teacher wants to text us and be like, oh, by the way, we have in-school training on the Chromebooks, and we want your 5-year-old to be on the computer at 10 and 1 o'clock for e-learning. Motherfuckers, this is goddamn snow day. Figure yourselves out. Why can't kids just enjoy a goddamn snow day? Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that then. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches, won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live, all 3 speakers go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour Report of manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. Check out the blog section. Check everything out that is happening over there at manhourradio.com. We do got some good things that are popping over there, and I just spent some dollar bills, y'all, over there on the website, so we're going to have some APIs rolling forward. If you guys don't know what APIs are, there's what stats, they give you predictions, they give you a bunch of stuff, and we are taking the levels up a little bit. Taking the levels up. But guys, it is Friday edition, January 19th, 2024, 10:03 a.m. East Coast time. We do have the phone lines open. The phone lines are open at 812-406-0322. So if your name is John, feel free to call in and, not be a bitch. But Hoffy.
Not John Peebles, though.
Yeah, not John Peebles. We don't want to hear from John. No, I'm kidding. Anybody can call into the show. We are live, raw, uncut. But Hoffy, welcome to the show, my man. What's up?
What up, Man Hour Nation? What up, Michael Buckheister? Really looking forward to this weekend's divisional playoff game.
This weekend's divisional playoff games, Hoffy is looking forward to it. And Hoffy doesn't look forward to much things because usually he can't see, over the person in front of him because he's like 5'5". But we digress from
5'10".
Oh, okay. If you're under 6 foot, you are a midget, so it is what it is, Hoffy. But my man Jim's in the chat.
Brandon Combs.
My man Jim's in the chat. He says, I took my dogs for a walk down on Main Street. They peed. They canceled school for wet, icy roads. Yeah, seriously. Indiana and Kentucky be like that, Hoffy. So Tuesday and Wednesday, we had a 2-hour delay because it was, quote, too cold outside. Thursday, it was the coldest day of the whole week. They start school at normal time. It snows 1 inch, and they want to shut down the whole state. Oh, whatever. I hate people.
No, we only had a 2-hour delay this week.
Well, you live in bumfuck Egypt. I'm not talking about Buffalo, New York, because, my man Carson Lang's in the chat. It was the Bills. Mafia's in the house. What is up, Carson? We're going to be talking about your Buffalo Bills. there, Carson. We're breaking down the AFC playoff picture today. We got 3 ways the Rams, Bills, Texans, and all Chiefs can win their respective games. So, guys, let us know. Play along in the chat here. And, Hoffy, are you ready to get this party started, man?
Yeah, where's WB at? He was the one that wanted to do the AFC on Friday, and he's not even here yet.
Yeah, so with that being said, man, can you, like, sound any more Boston? Like, he's not even here yet. I'm there.
Yeah, if I park the car in the Harvard yard.
So we were going to start with the Ravens and like Texans, but since our boy Ant's not here and my man Carson Lang's here, the biggest Buffalo Bills fan that I know, let's talk about the Bills Chiefs first, Hoffy. Are you ready to do a little bit of Bills Chiefs?
Yeah, convince me how your Kansas City Chiefs are going to lose this game.
You want me to go first? Well, let's welcome XD Gamer into the chat here. He says, I'm 4-4 on my bracket.
Yeah, how about them Jaguars?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there were 6 games on Wild Card Weekend. Don't shoot the messenger, but I'm pretty sure there were 6 games on Wild Card Weekend. My bad. Sorry, man. But let's kick it off first. I will tell you, Hoffy, 3 ways, 1, 2, 3 ways that the Buffalo Bills can beat my Kansas City Chiefs. And number 1, let's start off with the obvious elephant in the room. Let's start off with the obvious old Josh Allen, and do not make careless mistakes. When I say do not make careless mistakes, do not throw a red zone interception. Do not get a strip sack within the 10-yard line. Do not be stupid on the field. Josh Allen cannot make careless mistakes. Stephon Diggs cannot make careless mistakes. The team in general cannot make careless mistakes because the Kansas City Chiefs are a team that will capitalize on those careless mistakes. The Steelers couldn't quite capitalize. The Miami Dolphins couldn't quite capitalize, but I feel like the Kansas City Chiefs are a team that can definitely capitalize on careless mistakes. So my key to victory, number 1, is do not make those careless mistakes. Number 2, we all know that Patrick Mahomes is arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, especially in the league year after year after year. Now, he's had, quote, a down year by whatever, but any stretch of the imaginations. But what makes Patrick Mahomes so dangerous is when his ability to roll the pocket and extend the plays. So my key to victory, number 2 for the Buffalo Bills, is to control the pocket. I want you guys to keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket. Make him get those happy feet. Make him start patting the ball. Make him start to look for that big play down the field while he is in the pocket. When he is outside the pocket, Patrick Mahomes is an unstoppable force. Keep him in the pocket. And like, I necessarily don't want sacks. I could care less about sacks. I want you to maintain that pocket. Keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket, a.k.a. control the pocket. I don't know why I put Von Miller's wife-beating ass up there, but whatever. It is what it is. Number 3, I want the Buffalo Bills to talk some shit. I want the Buffalo Bills to get underneath the skins of the young defense of the Kansas City Chiefs. Stephon Diggs, a veteran in this league. Josh Allen, a veteran in this league. I want you guys to get underneath the skin of L'Jarius Sneed, get underneath the skin of Nick Bolton. Every time the Buffalo Bills make a big play on offense, I want them to let the Kansas City Chiefs defense know, like, hey, we won this play. You cannot stop us. So those are my 3 keys of victory for the Buffalo Bills this weekend, Hoffy, is cut down on the careless mistakes. I don't want to see any careless mistakes whatsoever. Keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket, and they need to talk that shit. How can the Chiefs beat the Buffalo Bills, Hoffy?
Well, the Chiefs' defense have held the last 3 straight games their opponents under 20 points, including containing the number 1 offense in Miami to just 7 points last week in the wild card. They have the 2nd total defense. Their passing defense is 4th. However, they're 19th in rush defense. They're going to have to contain Josh Allen and Cooks. Cooks, believe it or not, is actually 4th in the NFL. We normally don't talk about a Buffalo Bills running back being up there in that top 10 as far as yards. But since Brady has taken over the play calling, they've been a run-heavy team. So the Kansas City Chiefs defense is going to be key. Most importantly, their run defense in winning this game. And little side note, make sure you get after Diggs, piss him off, take him out of the game. So number one is going to be the Chiefs defense disrupting that run game, pissing off Diggs, and just showing up and once again trying to hold their opponent under 20 points. I think that's going to be a big key to this game here. Then a little page out of the New England Patriots book when it comes to beating the Buffalo Bills, and that is shorten the game. Use and abuse Isaiah Pacheco. He's averaging 66 rushing yards per game through 14 games. He picked up 244 receiving yards and 44 catches. He's been targeted 49 times. He's caught 2 touchdown passes, but the Bills' rush defense is ranked at 15th. So try and shorten the game, limit the amount of possessions that Josh Allen is going to get. Wayne said it best. He's a 5 touchdown to 1 turnover ratio. So I don't think that you want to give him, a good amount of chances, because I think you're more likely to beat this defense than, if you can shorten this game here. And then third and last, Rashee Rice. We all know Travis Kelce. We all know Pat Mahomes. But Kelce cannot do it himself. Rashee Rice is, 79 passes, 938 yards this year. He, in the last playoff game, had 8 receptions, 130 yards, 1 touchdown. He is going to have another big game for the Kansas City Chiefs. Whether they try and take out Kelce and that allows Rashee Rice to eat, or if Rashee Rice starts to get, him and Mahomes start to kind of build up some chemistry there, that'll maybe open up the middle of the field for Kelce on some of those, routes where he could just sit down and pick up some big plays. But Rashee Rice is going to be a key to allow Isaiah Pacheco, Mahomes, and Kelce to get theirs as well.
All right, guys, so just to recap mine and Hafi's keys to victory here for the Buffalo Bills, I want them to cut down on the careless mistakes. I want to keep them keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket. I want them to control the pocket, and I want them to talk shit. I want them to have some swagger, have some it factor on that field. And Hafi thinks the Kansas City Chiefs keys difference is stay behind that elite defense. Let the defense lock down the game, and then use and abuse Pacheco, run the damn ball, and develop that chemistry with Rashee Rice even and more. So, Hafi, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the comments here before we make our picks for this week's game. And Jim Powell says, I don't even know what you're going to say, Buck, but I know you're right. So, obviously, Jim thinks the Buffalo Bills are going to win this game. So go against the Chiefs, do for it, but the Raiders still suck. Wayne G says Josh Allen's only 5-4 in the playoffs, but he does have 20 touchdowns to just 4 picks. He balls out in the playoffs, and Mahomes to turnover problems finally cost the Chiefs. This is probably going to be the best game of the weekend, to be honest. Like, this is the most anticipated game, I think, of the weekend is the Bills versus Chiefs, but we will see. We'll see. Carson says, read Wayne's comment. Clearly, it's not a Josh Allen problem in the playoffs. It's a defensive problem. I thought you guys got rid of that defensive problem when, who was the Leslie Flazier's gone. Now that Sean McDermott is the play caller, all the defensive problems should be gone. So we will see. John, he says the 3 keys to victory for the Buffalo Bills are 1, play in Buffalo. Carefully select the referee crew and make sure Casey's Yunko 1, a.k.a. Taylor Swift, doesn't break up with Travis Swift until the game time. So clearly John thinks the Kansas City Chiefs are going to walk all over the Buffalo Bills because Taylor Swift needs to break up with Travis. They need to play in Buffalo, and they need to get a refereeing crew that is going to help out the Buffalo Bills quite a bit. I like it. I like it a lot. John Peoples in the chat, he says, pay the refs before the game, LOL. TGIF, all playoff weekend here. Come on, guys. Every ref gets paid. It's just a matter of how much you get paid. John says, tighten the red zones, no interceptions or turnovers. Very, 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 very true. Carson, one more comment here before we get into our picks here, Hoffy. He says, Carson Lane says, McDermott was still calling a prevent defense all day through the season, but he found his balls the last few weeks. You know what I say about prevents defense, Javi?
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Prevents defense prevents you from winning the games. I don't even have it in my high school playbook. If I ever hear a defensive coordinator say, Buck, let's put a prevents defense in, fired on the spot. Boom, you're gone. I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it one bit. So, Huffy, my man Drew's in the chat. What's up, Drew? Long time no see. He's a member over there on the YouTube channel. So, Huffy, with that being said, Chiefs versus Bills. Who do you got and why?
Right now, pains me to say it because I'm going to be rooting for the Chiefs as the Bills are in my AFC East. But right now, I think I'm leaning towards the Buffalo Bills. But I reserve the right to change my pick at any point during the game.
So basically, Hoffy is saying he's picking the Buffalo Bills, but once the Kansas City Chiefs jump out 28-0, 29-0 in the first quarter, you're like, oh, I was rooting for the Chiefs the whole time. Typical
Exactly.
Patriots fan. So obviously, I'm going to be rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs. I got my KC Chiefs beanie on. I got the World Championship right here, Hoffy. I know you haven't seen those in a while, but I do got my banner right there. With that being said, I did pick the Buffalo Bills earlier this season to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. And I was right on that pick. And John's like, what? You're picking the Bills over your Kansas City Chiefs? Listen, when I pick games, I pick with my head and I try to somewhat logically say this is why this team is going to win. But
Which head?
Both heads. I stick my head in a nice warm place and I say, give me the picks.
So your wife's making your picks?
I didn't say that, Hoffy. I just said a nice warm place. But
Oh,
when I look at the Kansas City
you're a
Chiefs right
swinger.
now, they are the most dangerous team in the NFL. Right now, the Kansas City Chiefs are the X factor, the wild card, whatever you want to call it, because we have not seen the Kansas City Chiefs play a complete game back to back to back. With that being said, they played a pretty damn good game against the Miami Dolphins at Arrowhead last weekend. They thawed out. It's supposed to be, 40 degrees at kickoff? Summertime, right? Compare that -8. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs in the upset. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to go to Buffalo, Huffy. They're not only going to whoop that ass, Stephon Diggs is going to be crying on the sideline by the third quarter, and by the fourth quarter, he is going to be demanding a trade to the Dallas Cowboys. That is how bad the Kansas City Chiefs are going to beat the Buffalo Bills this weekend. I have heard all the talk. Oh, the Chiefs are only good at home. Patrick Mahomes has never played on the road. Hire those refs, do this. Chiefs Kingdom, baby, all day long. You look complexed or constipated. Which one is it?
a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
No, I mean,
Too many cheese curds.
and Carson Lang just said it too. I didn't touch on this earlier, but you know the injuries on the defensive side of everyone has injuries, I know, but the Buffalo Bills do have a decent amount of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. So you know, it's a win-win for me. I'll pick the Buffalo Bills, but I'm rooting for the Chiefs. So either way, I win. But we will see.
Okay, so
We will see when the clock strikes 0.
my man, Hoffy, me and Carson go back quite a while. I'm probably like, I don't know, at least 10 years worth. Maybe more than, actually, it's probably more than that. Because 10 years would be 2014, so probably like 15 years. Me and Carson go way, way back. So, Carson, if you want to have a table jumping bet, I am down for a table jumping bet, my man. The loser has to film them jumping through a table. Nice little folding table. You can go to Walmart and spend like $10. It doesn't have to be one of those expensive ones, because if you buy an expensive one and you jump through it and you break your back, that's not on me. Have you seen those thick ass I don't know, like igloo ones that are Hoffy that are like 2 inches thick? Yeah,
That's what I got to use when I do catering events.
yeah, like just a cheap table, like a card table, or whatever. So, Hoffy, do you want to join the jumping through table bet? The
I have
loser.
a broken rib. I ain't doing shit.
Oh, just break another rib. Be a man.
All right, fine. I'll do the flying left side then.
Okay, there you go. So we have a table bet. If the Kansas City Chiefs win, Hoffy, you and Carson have to film you guys jumping through a table. If the Buffalo Bills win, I'll film myself jumping through a table.
Does the table have to be on fire?
No, that's just stupid. We're not that dumb.
I mean, they were doing it last weekend. Nobody died.
Yeah, that you heard of.
It warms up the soul.
Yeah, it warms up your soul as your pants are on fire. But yeah, table bet. Carson, let me know if you're in, if you're out. Me and Hoffy are down to clown. Down to clown like cocaine on the
Jesus.
red.
Now you're setting us up for 50 plus today.
50 plus.
WB. I'm 32.
Oh,
I ain't old.
John, people saying Bills 38-31. John, you're an old man. Let's have a table bet for you as well, man. If the Bills win, I'll jump through a table for like you too. If the Chiefs win, you jump through a table.
Carson Lang's in.
Carson Lang, let's do it, babe. I love it. I love good bets like that. Like shaving head bets is like all cool and everything. But when shit gets real, like jumping through a table, fuck yeah, baby, let's do it. And
My wife's gonna kill me.
And you got to be sober. You can't be drunk.
Oh, what's the fun in that?
And it has to be off your ceiling. No, but no, I'm totally kidding. We're not jumping off the roof of houses into tables. That's just silly. But
Well, the fuck I'm not.
how high do you gotta think how high do you think you gotta be to jump through a table? Like off a back of a truck bed? Like is that like enough like gravity force to go through a table or
Carson Lang, how sober? Sober, more sober than you were when you got your ankles broken by a 10-year-old in basketball.
The problem was he was sober. That's probably why he broke his ankles. But John said, and you still won't. Jameson says, no chance that the Chiefs beat the Bills. No chance at all. What? And then he got a little crazy emoji face. I'm not for sure what that means. No chance, no chance, no D. Buck when the Buffalo Bills. There's Amp. Says, I'm rooting for the Bills, but I'm betting. I'm a betting man. I'm going with the Chiefs. That's a great waffle answer. Great waffle answer, my guys.
He called us old, so I'm no longer rooting for his Ravens.
Ant's old?
No, he called us old. He said we're too old to be jumping through tables.
I am. I'm going to be feeling that for at least 2 weeks afterwards, if it happens. Minimum. Dude, Hoffy, I'm so old that if I sleep wrong in my pillow, my neck hurts for like three or 4 days. Like, it's just terrible. And I'm, of course, that was my rough life. I had that. To be old to be jumping through tables. I just saw that. Let's do this, says Carson. Jim Powell says, when you weigh 3 bills, everything to do with a table means so go through it. Jim is a very large man. He is 300 plus pounds, and I think he's over like 6'3" or 6'4".
Is he? He does not look like a large man from his picture, but I don't go Facebook stalking him.
Well, you see, when you're like 6'5", 6'6", that 300-pound frame stretches out, Hoffy. So, yeah, it is what it is. So, let me ask you this question, Hoffy. I've been kind of posting these weird questions out on Facebook, and I've been seeing what people have been saying, but let's say, I want you to finish this sentence, Hoppy. Finish it as whatever direction you want to take this. But if the Buffalo Bills lose on Sunday, ...
We'll see him next year.
Way to go, Brandon Combs. I set you up.
I mean, they're not going to fire McDermott. I think that, we had that conversation earlier in the year, but I think he's saved his job. Brady's going to be back as the play caller. I still just don't see them moving on from Stephon Diggs. I mean, they could now. They have a two-headed monster in their tight end, Kincaid and Knox. But I guess if you want me to, get ballsy here, I'll say if they lose, Stephon Diggs demands a trade and he's gone.
And then people will say, oh, they can't afford to trade him. Dead cap hit, yada, yada. We're seeing with Russell Wilson right now. They don't care about money. It's just da-da-da-da Bills show. But, Hoffy, when the Buffalo Bills lose on Sunday versus the Kansas City Chiefs, you are going to see a complete makeover of the Buffalo Bills. You are going to see them start from the head all the way down to the toes, and they're going to cut. And Sean McDermott's gone. Whoever the general manager is gone. Joe Brady's gone. You know who they're going to bring in? They're going to fire every coach, every GM, and they're going to bring in the one and only Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is looking for a team that has a lot of talent. The Buffalo Bills have a lot of talent that is underachieving. And if you lose in this divisional round versus the Kansas City Chiefs, I kind of say that's kind of a little bit of underachieving, right? Wayne G said that the best that Josh Allen is 5-4 in the playoffs. Very, very mediocre, right? And the Buffalo Bills have a team right now that could make a lot of noise in the playoffs. Super Bowl. You bring a coach in like Bill Belichick, bada bing, bada boom. I am now wearing a Buffalo Bills hat if they lose.
I love it, but it ain't happening.
John says, big old thing here. Let me get that off so I can read it here. He says, Yoko Ono ruined the Beatles. Taylor Swift is KC's Yoko Ono. First of all, who is Yoko Ono? You know who that is?
Yeah.
Who is
Yoko Ono?
Yeah, that guy.
She was dating one of the Beatles.
Oh, so it was like the 60s or something, whenever Beatles were around. Kelsey hasn't had a 100-yard game since week 7. No touchdown since week 11. The Bills' defense is number 5 overall against tight ends and number 2 versus tight ends in the red zone. Chiefs will have to win without Kelsey. Bills are number 7 versus wide receivers and number 5 versus quarterbacks, but they're number 17 versus running backs. Casey will need to get the running game started early before Josh Allen drives the score up. Pretty much what you said.
Yeah, she married John Lennon.
John Lennon. Who's John Lennon?
And then after a year of being married, he left the Beatles.
Yeah. So, John says, I'm old enough to be your dad. I'm not saying much, but my dad would jump through a table. I'm just saying. Jim says, if the Buffalo Bills lose on Sunday, Diggs will be very, very vocal about it. Of course he will. He is going to be, it's all your fault. I'm the man. Bring in Bill Belichick. Carson says, Diggs ain't going nowhere. I question if Gabe Davis stays there, though. Listen, Gabe Davis had a nice little breakout season. Was it last year or 2 years ago? And you really haven't heard from him since. So I would definitely see a Gabe Davis to Kansas City. Wink, wink. Wayne G says, Bill and Josh to Atlanta. Trade for Justin Fields and the Falcons win the Super Bowl. No, they don't. Falcons will then give up another 28-3 Super Bowl run to the, let's say, the Patriots next year. Wouldn't that be something? The Bill Belichick goes to Atlanta. Patriots and Falcons both make it into the Super Bowl, and then they give up a 28-3 score.
No shot in hell.
No shot in hell.
The Patriots aren't even going to make the playoffs.
She's Lennon's wife, says Carson. Drew says Bill Belichick is either going to be a Charger coach, or what, Drew? Or what? I guess he's Falcons Chargers. I don't know. What are you guys, 11 years old? Yoko Ono was married to John Lennon. Listen, I don't keep up with pop culture.
One of the Beatles. I gave the facts. They were married for a year before she pulled him from the band, basically.
After you Googled it, you 11-year-old. Only 11-year-olds.
I didn't Google it.
You freaking clown. ChatGPT.
I didn't Google it.
Whatever.
Not to mention, I was born in 90. I'm pretty sure the Beatles were already fucking gone by then anyways.
Yeah, they're always on heroin or whatever. John says, maybe the answer is a few questions about you, Buck. What are you trying to say, John? Hoffy, do people
trying to say you're a clown.
Okay. Got it. Okay. That has already happened. Raiders versus Tampa Bay. That is very, very true. Carson Lang says Gabe Davis is very, very hot and then very, very cold. Watch Callie, or I don't know how to say the guy's name, but I think he's a rookie, the number 10 for the Bills. Shakir do big things versus Kansas City. Yeah, he is probably the X factor because I feel like the Chiefs are going to put Snead on Diggs. Diggs is going to shut Snead is going to shut Diggs down. Gabe Davis is going to be his hot or cold self, but I think he's a rookie. He is number 10, small little white guy. Yeah, he is definitely the X factor. Carson said, it's not pop culture, it's rock history. John says, I've had too many
Buck
hits.
is not a rock and roll kind of guy.
I'm an everything type of guy. But give me some gangster rap over anything.
Name me one rock and roll band.
AC/DC, Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
Other rock and roll bands, Five Finger Death Punch, 9 Inch Nails, baby. Let's go. How about some Slipknot? Gang Gang Niner Gang, right? No, it's what are Slipknot called? Are they called like the Knotheads or something like that? I can't remember. The Deadheads. That's Ungrateful Dead or whatever, right? I don't know. You're the reason I'm alone and masturbate. Yeah, about that. John says I've had one too many hits to the dome. I have had one too many hits to the dome. I remember very vividly back in the day. You used to be the kickoff, right? I loved kickoff. I loved me some kickoff, running down the field and blowing up the wall, because back then, you could set up a wall, lock arms, and you had a kid kamikaze go down the field and blow that wall up. That was my job. There was one time I tripped and my head went down into this big old 300-pound man, knocked myself clean the fuck out, had shit running down my leg, because when you knock out, you shit yourself and piss yourself, right? That's why you always take a dump before the game, because you don't ever want to do that. It's very, very embarrassing, especially in white pants. And I get up, shake it off, right? Because back then there was no concussion protocol BS. I call the play, and the next thing I know, I'm like, what's that smell? And there's shit down to my ankles. So it was a great time. Great time. Timothy's in the chat. He says, now I think the Bill fans and Bill's defense are going to shut down your boy Kelsey. Listen, I don't think the Buffalo Bills are honestly worried about Travis Kelsey right now, to be honest. Timothy, if I am scouting for the Buffalo Bills defense and putting in a game plan versus the Kansas City Chiefs, I want to take away two things. I want to take away Jay Pacheco. I do not want him running downhill on me whatsoever. He seems to be kind of the, what's the word? Kind of like the ignition that kind of like sparks the team, makes them hot, right? And then I want to keep Mahomes in the pocket. I don't really care about Kelsey. I don't really care about Rice or MVS or any other receivers. None of those receivers right now scare me whatsoever. It's just Pacheco that scares me, to be honest. But Hoffy, with that being said, you picking the Bills, I'm picking the Chiefs. Let's transfer over to the number 1 seed in the NFC, and that is the Ravens, and they are battling the Houston Texans in this divisional matchup. Hoffy, Ravens are favored in this particular game, so give me a couple ways that the Houston Texans can win this game.
In the words of Brandon Combs, show up. No. Damian Pierce and Devin Singletary need to control the game. One way to beat the Baltimore Ravens is on the ground. They were a middle-of-the-pack team against the run this year, which provides the Texans a potential area to exploit. In order to do that, though, they cannot let this game get away from them early. They need to control the run game. They have to move the ball effectively in the first half, and the explosiveness of Damian Pierce and the consistency of Devin Singletary allows them to do that. So number 1 would be Damian Pierce and Devin Singletary controlling the run game. Number 2, and this is probably the biggest important key here, is CJ Stroud continues to perform like a superstar. Without Stroud, the Texans certainly are not suiting up to play against this Baltimore Ravens in this divisional playoff game. Heck, they might not have even made the playoffs at all. So Houston's hopes are going to have to continue. They're going to have to play the spoiler here, mistake-free, dominant performance, and that's going to, start with CJ Stroud. And a little one-off on that one is Nico Collins. He's had a breakout season for the Texans. He's coming off a dynamite game last week against the Browns. He had 6 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. So he is going to be a key figure or key attribute to C.J. Stroud once again, performing like a superstar this week because he's a good deep threat and he should give the Ravens secondary some problems. So C.J. Stroud performing like a superstar is my number 2. With Nico Collins really needing to be his Robin to his Batman there. And number 3, and I guess this is another very important one, is pressure Lamar Jackson. The Texans have to get pressure. You have to keep Lamar Jackson contained in the pocket. I know it's easier said than done, but that's absolutely essential to the Texans having a shot. Will Anderson, he can apply pressure at a high rate. He's, major key in limiting Lamar Jackson effectiveness is, keeping him in the pocket. Another player, Christian Harris, he's coming off a strong game, linebacker for the Texans, 7 tackles, 1 sack, and an interception. If you look at these Ravens losses or some of the Ravens losses when Jackson is under center, the most common theme is keeping him contained in the pocket and pressuring him, which is what Harris and, will need to be a huge part of in that game. But I know that Ant's going to come at me and Lamar Jackson's been, kind of, evolving as far as a pocket passer, but we haven't seen him be a pocket passer in the playoffs and win a game. So keeping him in the pocket and, applying pressure is going to be key to a Texans victory here.
All right, so just to recap for 3 keys to victory for the Houston Texans, that is the running game, run the ball over and over and over, let CJ and Nico eat still. Nice little 1-2 punch there. And then, of course, pressure Lamar Jackson. Keep him uncomfortable over and over and over again. So I kind of got tasked with the Baltimore Ravens. I wanted to talk about the Baltimore Ravens because this is a team that has kind of been underperforming in the playoffs. Let's just be honest about it. Let's call a spade a spade. They are not a good playoff team. So when I look at the Baltimore Ravens versus the Houston Texans this weekend, I want them to do 3 things and they could win this game. One of them is do not force Dalvin Cook down our throats. Dalvin Cook has been activated by the Baltimore Ravens and will be playing probably a very critical role in this game versus the Houston Texans. There's a reason why Dalvin Cook was released / cut from the New York Jets. There's a reason why Dalvin Cook was able to walk away from the Minnesota Vikings. Do not force Dalvin Cook the ball. I do not want to see him touching the ball more than 10 times in this game. Maybe a couple outlet passes, maybe a couple draws in like a 3rd and long situation, but do not force Dalvin Cook the ball. Secondly, is I want to see nice, long, sustained drives by the Baltimore Ravens. The one thing that many people are kind of overlooking is the quick firepower of the Houston Texans offense. They can score in a blink of an eye. Let's look at, I believe it was a couple weeks ago when they're playing the Indianapolis Colts. Very first offensive play of the game, CJ to Nico Collins for like 90 some odd yards. They are a quick fire offense. So I want you to keep their offense off the field and have long sustained drives. 8-9 minute drives, 15, 16 plays over and over again. And thirdly, is I want Lamar Jackson to stay calm. The one thing bad about Lamar Jackson is when they start to get from behind, you can kind of see him wanting to revert to his old ways. When I say the old ways, I mean like taking over the game, scrambling, running for 80 yards, right? If you see Lamar Jackson rush for over 50, 60 yards in this game, 9 times out of 10, I bet you the Baltimore Ravens are going to lose this game. So I want Lamar Jackson to stay calm. Do not force the game. Let the game come to him and just do what he's been doing all season long. He is a MVP numbers all season long. So just let the game come to him. So, Hafi, with that being said, who do you got winning this game? Houston Texans or the Baltimore Ravens?
I want to go out on a limb and say the Texans, but I don't see that happening. I know that the last time the Ravens were the number 1 seed, they lost their first game. You know, they're coming into this game off of resting their players. I believe they rested their players in the Week 17 matchup that they played as well. So realistically, you could say they're coming off of 2 weeks. I think I would not be surprised to see them start slow and maybe even go down 14-0. But I think that I think the Ravens pull this one out. I think it'll be a close one, and I think they will have to battle from behind early. But I believe the Ravens will win this game.
And I think if the Houston Texans jump out early 14-0, like you said, that might be a wrap for the Ravens. But I think I am going to go out on that limb, Hoffy. I think I am rooting for the Texans. I am rooting for the Texans to win this game, and I'm going to pick the Texans to win this game. Not because Lamar Jackson is not a good quarterback, not because the Baltimore Ravens aren't a good team. The issue with Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens is they shit the bed in the playoffs. Let's call it how it is. Lamar Jackson is not the same quarterback in the playoffs as he is in the regular season. If this was another Week 15 game, give me the Baltimore Ravens all day long. Playoffs is a different animal, and the Houston Texans kind of got that swag in them. They got that first playoff win. They got the division title. They're riding sky high, and everybody's counting them out. When everybody counts them out, the underdog comes up and wins the game. So I'm picking the Texans to win this game. You got the Ravens. So, Hoffy, let me ask this question. What happens if the Baltimore Ravens lose this game?
I mean, there'll be some changes, but I don't know that there'll be any significant changes. I mean, you're not going to get rid of Jim Harbaugh, or excuse me, John. Lamar Jackson is still going to be there. So I don't think that, I think this team is set up to be successful. If they lose, we'll be talking about them like we talked about the Dallas Cowboys. But I think just like the Dallas Cowboys, there will be no changes made.
All right, so they lose, whatever it is what it is, right? In Hoffy's terms. Guys, if the Baltimore Ravens lose, I am going to be on here dogging Lamar Jackson. I'll be on here Monday morning, 10 a.m. East Coast time, and I'll be talking all types of shit on Lamar Jackson. Just because all that hate that everybody gives Dak for playoff woes, playoff shortcomings, whatever, yada, 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 Lamar Jackson is in that same boat. Baltimore Ravens excel 13-3 Lamar Jackson's playoff year, or his MVP year. This year, what they were 12-4 or whatever, or 13-4, right? They have achieved a lot of things in the regular season, but nothing in the playoffs. And it all falls on Lamar Jackson's shoulders. Just like it falls on Dak Prescott's shoulders for the Dallas Cowboys, it's going to be Lamar Jackson's fault. And people are going to be over here giving all types of excuses. If the Baltimore Ravens to lose, you are going to see the Baltimore or Lamar Jackson fans, oh, he needs more help. He needs this. He needs this. At what point is it Lamar Jackson's fault?
What if Lamar Jackson throws for 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, or even more than that, and it's a shootout, and they lose in a shootout where he doesn't turn the ball over, or he throws for 250 and runs for, 100? You still going to blame that on Lamar?
Yeah. You guys would have blamed it on Dak, right? You would have, let's say that happens in New York. Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has the ball 13 seconds left again, and they drive down the field 85 yards. Who are you going to blame at that point? Josh Allen, right? Because playoff Josh Allen is only 5-4. Ultimately it's the quarterback's fault.
On that, and we are blaming Dak because he was down 42-16 in the fourth quarter. I don't care if he put up 2 garbage touchdowns.
So the defense has nothing to blame for that, for giving up 42 points.
When you're 16-0 in your last 16 home games, and you're potential MVP runner-up, and you have Gallup and Cooks and CeeDee Lamb and Pollard and one of the best offensive lines. Yeah, I'm gonna blame Dak Prescott on that one.
So you're not going to give up so you're not going to blame the defense for giving up 42 points.
It does. The defense could have given up 20 points. They would have lost.
I don't think so. But
Dak sucks nuts.
See, you are blaming Dak Prescott even though it was not his fault at all. If Lamar Jackson were to lose, it's going to be everybody else's fault but Lamar Jackson. All I'm saying is, if he puts up
16 points and they give up 42, yeah, I'm gonna, I'll still blame. I'll still allow some hatred towards Lamar.
Okay.
But if they lose 35-33 and Lamar throws for 275, then you can't put that one on Lamar.
He should have thrown for 280.
It's a total failure by the Cowboys, 100%. But you have to look at the captain of that team and Dak Prescott for what they've done all year, and then he just comes out and shits the bed. 2 interceptions, only has 16 points going into that fourth quarter. I don't count the remaining points that they scored because that was all in garbage time. And
what if they would have won that game in garbage time?
What?
What if the Cowboys would have won in that garbage time game?
Then Dak would have been
praised.
The second coming of Jesus.
Praised. He would be getting all types of P&A. But I saw some people in here. Pops is in the chat. He said Chiefs beat the Bills. Texans beat the Titans. I think he meant the Ravens. AFC Championship game at Arrowhead. Bank it. I like it. John says, I'm picking the upset. Texans 34-24 as well. Jim says, I saw a quote online and it rang as true as I've ever said. I don't know. Pop says Lamar is just too cocky at news press conferences. Lamar Jackson is trying to do his best impression of Bill Belichick, and it's not suiting him. He just looks like an arrogant asshole, to be honest with you. Like, do you remember on that Sunday night interview? Was it the 49ers game? And like he's like, oh, I'm just doing what I can for my team, and we're looking forward to this game, and like it's all them. Like, did you see that? I can't remember what game it was, but I'm just like, dude, like, smile, stop.
We're on to Cincinnati.
Yeah. Chrissy's in the chat. I'm not going to say your last name. Texans over Ravens and Bills over KC. A lot of people are kicking the upset or over the Texans. John says 3 keys to the Texans' victory: make Lamar be a QB2. Or sorry, make Lamar be a QB. Number 2, make Lamar be a QB, and then number 3, repeat 1 and 2, aka make Lamar pass the ball, take away the running game. Yeah, I could see it. Carson says make Lamar beat you with his arm. I don't think he pulls that off. You let him run, he likely beats you. Just like Josh Allen. Like, you can't let Josh Allen run. Let him beat you with his arm. The problem is Josh Allen can beat you with his arm. That 90-yard pass that he can or whatever, right? John says
20 miles an hour.
Lamar is Dak Jr. in the playoffs. Totally overconfident. Would you say Dak Prescott's confident going into the playoffs? I would not say
he's confident.
Yeah.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
I'd say he shits the bed, just like Amber Heard. But
allegedly. Timothy says Lamar looks like a man playing against children. He's the MVP. This year he had a very MVP type of year. He did not put up the best stats, but he definitely had a MVP. Carson says, I disagree, Buck. You let Lamar, it opens up the passing up. Better matchups for the receivers. Do you know what Carson's trying to say? You let Lamar, it opens up. Like you let Lamar run, I guess?
Yeah, you let Lamar run. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It opens up the rest.
Yeah, there it is. Yep. Let Lamar
I wasn't
run.
stealing your content, Combs. I was basically reading it for you, you prick.
Carson Lang says, if the Ravens lose, then the Buffalo Bills have 3 home field playoff games. No, they don't, because the Chiefs are going to whoop that Buffalo Bills ass. Casey wants the Ravens to lose if they get by the Bills. Of course, do you want the top team in the NFL to lose, and you want a home playoff game? Absolutely. Chiefs fans are rooting for the Texans 100%. 100%. What are you laughing at? Bring it up.
Combs got mad at me for stealing his Amber Heard thing, and I called him a 5-foot clown. He said he would bite my shins.
I heard Dak is dating Amber Heard. They both love this shit to bed. I see. There's a lot of comments here. Let's try to stealing my comments. Hoffy, I'll bite your chins. Got it. So, Hoffy, just to recap here, who do you have winning the Chiefs game versus Bills? You got to pick. There's no waffling around now. It is time to lock it in stone because you're jumping through a table either way.
Told you. I'll make my pick when the clock strikes, triple zeros.
So you're picking the
Bills.
But
until then, I'm going with the Buffalo Bills.
Getting the Buffalo Bills, I am taking the Chiefs. And in the Ravens game, you are still sticking with the Ravens?
Correct.
And I'm picking the Houston Texans. So we are split 50-50 on these
I am,
matchups.
however, rooting for the opposite teams that I'm picking. So, in the end, it's a win-win for me. But
yeah, you're like, well, I told you so, but, right. Alpha Rob is in the chat.
I told you so. I am rooting for the Texans. I am rooting for the Chiefs. But neither team is going to win.
Alpha Rob, long time no see. He says Bills are getting AFCCG in Buffalo. Ravens shook again. Oh, AFC Conference Championship game after the Ravens shook again. Alpha Rob, your boys are not going to beat my boys. Alpha Rob's a Buffalo Bills fan as well. John says Bills, Texans. Combsy is picking the Chiefs 23-21. Allen cannot beat Mahomes and Texans win. So me and Combs are on the same page as well. There seem to be a lot of Texans fans. Wonder where they all came from. They must be Eagles fans. Send us out.
One. You know what? I'm picking the Chiefs.
Yeah!
Fuck them Bills.
Chiefs Kingdom,
Fuck
baby!
the Bills. Fuck Bills Mafia. The rest of you Man Hour Nation motherfuckers, rise up.